Like I said, first time ever, it's asking, first time in this Big Sur, it's asking for a session key. I'm waiting for the session key now.
You ready?
Yeah.
4241
Wait. 4241
500.
500. Hang on a second, we haven't connected yet. I'm just gonna go to screen time, see what's happening there. Okay, so already 49 seconds I have other showing that I'm already screen sharing. Okay, we minimize that and I'm gonna go over here because every time I screen share I seem to be having other before I screen share. Anyways, just ignore that for a bit. Waiting for download to finish. So I should get a pop-up window that asks me to there it goes. Apple supports screen sharing. Is an app download? Yeah, open. I showed two Apple icons in my dock. It says you're chatting with Divian. Let me know when you're on the screen.
Alrighty,
There
so
you
I
are.
can see your screen, but I can't control your screen.
You can see it now, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let's go through this fast.
Okay.
So you see, other there is 1 minute.
Yes.
Good. The last time I screen shared with you, I told you did not give me this window. Come on, open up this window. I didn't get this window. I had to get it on a URL. So this is the first time I got this link to download that app. Where's the other screenshot I took? One other thing. Where is it? I took a screenshot. Did I put it in this folder? Here. Yeah, no, not in that folder. I don't know. I took a screenshot and it said 40 seconds in. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Ignore that. Let's deal with what we have right now. All right, so what we have right now is it says usage 57 minutes. For 1 hour I'm using the Mac. But you see here, same thing like last time. You've seen this last time, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. What was your takeaway from our last screen session? I don't know if you remember that screen session. Do you take notes?
Do not. I do take notes for your case.
Okay.
But I'm just not certain what to. I mean, everything that it's just over my head personally.
Okay. All right. So everything here, you mean?
So I'm not familiar enough with screen time.
Okay.
I know how to set it up. I know the uses for it. I can, troubleshoot it if basically how to set it up. But when it comes to how it actually works, it's not an application or service that I have personally used.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what it's supposed to do exactly. It's just not something that I use.
All right. Because as we're talking now, the Mac is running at 212 degrees and 8,000 RPMs, right? Which is crazy hot. This is the max it'll go to. It will not go. The app does not tell temperature over 100, 212. That's the max the app will go to, and then 8,000 RPMs is the max. A computer should never run beyond that, but mine is always at 212 and 8,000 RPMs. So, what I want to Okay, so you don't know about this one here, and you don't know why, because I recorded it this morning for you, not this
Uh-huh.
morning, this afternoon. Um, that I have this QuickTime and Preview, right?
Uh-huh. Yes.
And you know that I have two of them, QuickTime and Preview
Yes.
again, and then I have two text edit also. Now, are you had said that I must have done this. Can you walk me through how you think I did that? Because it happens
So
constantly.
I did not say that I thought you did it.
Okay.
I gave like a hypothesis that maybe it was pulling from the phone. But
Okay.
that was just something I was thinking. But after you showed me, I don't think that that was correct.
Right.
I just don't know why it's showing duplicate.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Yes, you did say it was pulling from somewhere, that it's something I did. I sync the phone to the computer, right? But I
Right.
don't sync anything. So let's double check to see if I'm syncing. Where do you need to double check?
Say that one more time
Okay.
to see if you're not using iCloud. So that rules out that as one of the where it's reading from.
I did not sign into Apple ID at
Right.
all.
So you're not right. So you're not signed into
No.
your Apple ID. So it's not the phone.
Right. So I wanted to double check that with you to let you see that I'm not signed into anything. But yet I get that hold on. I get the three of them actually, and there's my one app I have on the phone, which is TG Pro, right? My one app is always running, it's telling me the temperature, right? But it never shows as being in screen time. It never shows up in screen time. We're talking for more than 1 minute. This is still on 1 minute. And then TG Pro never shows up here. Look, you're on for 30 seconds here only. See that? And then Remote Advisor 10 seconds. So you're on in different areas?
So we're looking at two different things here.
Right.
So one is the website. It's showing you Safari, and then that one with the black apple is actually our session. So one is our session, and the other is the website.
Right. Okay. Let's look at this. So Remote Advisor is 30 seconds. That's you. That's me actually talking to you. 30 seconds, right?
Right. But with any type of technology and monitoring, it, sometimes it's not very accurate.
So this is still a minute. So we'll check back with it again, see if it'll show more than a minute. Okay. So here's what I want to do, and we'll go over it quickly.
Okay.
Did you get the 50 screenshots I sent?
I did.
Wonderful. Were they? I sent them in order. Were they in order when you received them?
Yes, I believe you had them numbered.
Right. So they were in order when you received them, because I sent you an email showing the way my computer shows me that they were sent. It wasn't in order anymore. Did you get that email?
Say that one more time.
Okay. So I sent 50 screenshots and they were in order. Then I sent you an email saying, "Hi, Devian." I included 3 screenshots in the email. I said, "Look, here's a screenshot of me numbering. I've numbered the screenshots that I'm sending to you." And then after they were sent, they showed on my screen as being scrambled. And I showed you a screenshot of that. Did you not get that?
Let me take a look.
Okay. And the third screenshot was the Mac saying it takes 11 hours to fully charge when it's 50% charge. So 3 screenshots I sent additional to the 50.
All right, I do see where you said they are showing as scrambled, but I did get them.
You did get them. But did you get them as in order or as scrambled?
They're not in order.
They're
but
not.
They're numbered.
Okay, they're numbered, but they're not in order the way I send them.
As in chronological order?
Yes.
No, they are not.
Any idea why they were scrambled? Because I send them in chronological order, one, like I number them and then I send them 1 to 50 in order because they're supposed to be read in order.
So I don't know. It just happens sometimes. It could be just that one loaded before the other. So it depends on, like, whenever we're uploading multiple items at once, some can upload before others. So it uploads, and we see the little progress bar, but we don't see the progress bar for individual items. Like, for instance, if you were attaching, screenshots to your email. Okay, you're sending an email, and if you add multiple attachments at once, you'll see that the little progress bar for each happens at different times. So, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is that they just uploaded at different times.
All right, because the only reason I mentioned it to you is because I was looking at them as they were loading, and they actually started from the top and they were loading. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That was just something I wanted to ask you because I saw them loading. It started at the very top, and I thought, oh, for sure you're getting number 1 at first, right? But that didn't happen. That's okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Can we please just briefly go over the screenshots and just tell me if you know something about it, or if you know nothing, just say yes or no, that's it, okay? And I just want to know if I have to research it myself or not. Or maybe you can research it. Anyway, so here we go. Here's number 1. Can you pull up number 1?
Yes.
Great. All right. I researched IPv4 and IPv6. And it said those are under the radar internet access, and it says in my diagnostic in NetStat I have no network here, and I'm running it, and it says I have multicast group membership. Do you know what that is?
Multicast
group memberships. And all this data is moving.
I'm not certain. I mean, this is all way above me. IPv4 and IPv6 is internet protocols. When it comes to us being able to get on the internet, our computers, our routers, our modems, and websites, everything has to work by these protocols. They have certain things, a whole bunch of things, and it's tons and tons of layers of protocols that are in place that are needed in order for us to connect. So when we deal with that, it's basically our computers have to have IP addresses. They have to have MAC addresses. Websites don't actually have website addresses. They have IP addresses, which is just a collection of numbers. But due to the domain name service, we can put in apple.com as opposed to putting in 155.55.123. So instead of us typing in those numbers, the domain name service protocol allows us to type in apple.com and go directly to the website. So these are all protocols and rules for that protocols that allow us to be able to connect and travel on the internet, receive information. Every time you click on something, in regards to the internet, when you are using the internet, everything is broke up into teeny tiny pieces called packets. And those packets are shot across the internet, and then they're reassembled on the receiving end. All of this happens within milliseconds. We can't see it. We don't know it happens. But everything, that click is a bunch of puzzle pieces, travels across the internet, reassembled, and then broken up again, traveled back, assembled on your end so that you can see it. So I know the basics, but when it comes to all the workings of it, I have no idea.
All right. So thank you for all of that. But here, I think what you needed to know first is that I had no internet. I did not try to connect to anything, no connecting to anything, okay? No iCloud, no Apple ID. I simply ran diagnostic, and this is what I got.
Right, but even though we're not connecting, your computer still has to have the ability. It's built into the operating system it's part of what allows you to be able to get online. So even if we're not using something or a service, the computer still has that ability. And everything is constantly communicating with each other as long as we have the computer on. And when I say communicating with each other, the hardware inside your computer is communicating with the software that's on your computer. So it doesn't necessarily mean that information or data is traveling outside of the computer or coming in. It just means that those protocols, your hardware, are constantly talking in order to be ready at any moment for you to connect.
All right. So okay. So what you're saying that even though I have no Wi-Fi connection, and everything that we're going to talk about now, even if I don't specifically say it again and again, understand this: no internet, no Apple ID, no sign into iCloud, none of that. Okay, that goes for all the screenshots, unless you see otherwise. So you're saying that this is expected behavior where it says multicast, and where it says group membership along with IP4 and IPv6, that is expected behavior when I'm not syncing or have any other connection.
This is expected behavior for these protocols.
That's all I need to know. That's expected behavior. Got it. So that's number one. Number two, this is Netstat again. Same idea. No iCloud, and it says it's sending packets from this host. So is that expected behavior or no?
This looks like completely expected behavior.
Okay.
Like I said, packets are going to move no matter what.
So I am the host. This computer is a host.
The computer is the host, and packets are going to move. Packets they're just data.
And do you know where are they moving to, outside the computer, or are they moving within the computer?
Within the computer. So anything that you do, like even just clicking on something,
okay,
it's packets.
Okay, that's okay. I just want to understand. So this is if it's expected, just tell me. And if you're speculating, I need you to tell me you're speculating, right? So this one here.
So far, this is something that I understand.
Perfect.
Right here.
And that's what I need. Thank you. So what you're saying is when it's sending packets, and if I have no iCloud and no Apple ID, no internet, it will be sending packets, but it's within the computer itself.
Right.
Perfect.
Nothing can get out if you're not connected to the internet, right? You have no active connection to the internet. Packets move. Packets can hit a block, like hitting a brick wall. They have no way to leave, so they're just traveling inside the computer.
Okay, thank you for that. Why do you know why I have two system information? This is screen time, and I know you said you don't understand.
Yeah, I have no idea about the screen time.
And it's using more than 100% of CPU. You don't know. Okay. That's okay. If you don't know, we'll skip by it, and we'll do it as fast as I can. And then when I'm running system diagnostic, I get a lot of deleted things. Any idea what that is? What causes that?
So it's a process. So I don't know what the process is. Are you removing items, deleting items at that time?
No, I recorded it. All I'm doing is running system diagnostic. And I think I'm looking at screen time here and all these things that are ticked off and grayed out. Because I think we talked about this, and you can tell me again. Because when I set up the Mac, it never asked me to set up screen time. Screen time is already pre-set up with all these things ticked off and grayed out. So am I supposed to set up screen time, or does it come like this?
It should automatically just come like that. And then if you turn it on, then you can remove the check, change the setting.
You sure about that? I thought
By default, it is turned off.
By default?
Because it's something...
Okay.
When it's something that is given to you during setup. So when you're setting up the computer, it asks if you want to turn on screen time. If you tell it no, then by default, everything here is grayed out. When you see the checks, that means that those are default settings. because our engineers or whatever through testing are seeing what people want. When they turn on restrictions, those are the most common things that they want to restrict. So by default, those checks are there in case you turn it on. But since it's off, it's grayed out because it's not in use. It's not a feature that's being used.
All right. So all this is expected behavior.
Yes.
All right. So when I set up the computer and I click on screen time and I click on app usage, it never asks me to set it up. It just sometimes there's information there, sometimes there's none, but it should not ask me to set it up. It should come like this.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you get the new computer, if you do not have screen time set up, then this is off.
So, okay, because this is what I see. It never asks me to set up. Okay, but you're saying, just to be clear, it's expected.
Yeah.
Thank you. Other. And so here I see other is 8 minutes. It went from 2 minutes to 8 minutes to 11 minutes usage. And that's February the 18th when I removed this computer from the box that I was sending it in. And I already had other, which means I'm screen sharing with someone.
Not necessarily screen sharing.
Okay,
it's just, it can't be categorized.
It can be categorized. It's something that cannot be categorized.
So I have no idea what it is.
Okay, that's okay. And so I just set up the computer. Already it's 20 hours in use, but here it only says 2 hours. You can explain that, or you can?
I cannot.
All right. So I recorded it. I recorded screen time when I took the computer out of the box. There's 2 hours and 39 minutes into the recording, and screen time app usage went back to 0. It changed from it was started at 0, and then it started to show some time. Then it went to 0 again, and then it went to 20 hours.
I can't explain it.
Okay, that's fine. And can you explain the date? What purchase? The purchase date, it said 1969, and now it says 1970.
So, no. Inside the computer, there is something in the computer that handles date and time. In Windows PC, it looks like a watch battery. It handles the clock. Whenever we have issues on like a Windows PC, you pop it out, put it back in, and it resets to resync with the date and time. So the Macs have a similar feature, but I'm not certain. These things, the computers are manufactured, they come off the line, and they're placed into a box. And there can be issues with the date and time. The computers are not connected to a network where they can keep track of the correct time. When they're in the box, they can't, keep track. So if there was a hiccup or something with the little the time management thing inside the computer, it doesn't have a way to communicate to get the correct time.
All right. So it's explainable why it has 1970 over 1969.
I'm not sure, but this is me from personal experience. I have had computers that have had dates that were really, really off. Not as far back as 1969, but I've had some that have had dates of like 1980.
Okay. All right, so here's ForceQuid. There's preview running in ForceQuid, but preview is not open here, and it's not in the dock. It's not open in the dock. Why is that?
Not certain about that one.
Okay.
Not certain.
Okay, I'm going to close that one. And I told you about iMessages. Right away, there's iMessage. And there's iCloud also. When I click on another one of these, there's iCloud, but let's stick with iMessages. Any idea why I see iMessage? Because so iMessage is not even open here. There's iMessage, it's not even open. Go ahead.
So if iMessage had been opened at any point, or I just really don't know the answer to this, but each application has the ability to have a key in order for you to access it. So the keys are different from the password, but this I cannot answer.
Okay, because I've recorded it. I had somebody with a phone record the screen before I signed in, where it says connecting, right? All of that before I get into the screen. right? To show that no iMessage was clicked on. iMessage is not even open here. Okay, so iMessage is, so we'll say you don't know on that one.
Right.
Okay, when it comes to these keys being unlocked and public and private key being unlocked, is that expected behavior or not?
I'm not certain.
Okay, let's leave that then.
I'm not.
That's okay. We'll move on. All right, so this is QuickTime running here. QuickTime is not in the dock, it's not opened at all, and it's not running here. But Preview is open in ForceQuit, but it's not open in the dock. Your thoughts?
I'm not certain.
That's okay.
I see it up there, but I'm not.
That's okay. I've talked to you about Preview and QuickTime all the time. They're not open here, but they're constantly running. See ForceQuit? They're constantly running, but they're not open here. And remember, I have two of them in screen time. Your thoughts on that or pass?
I just don't know. My initial thought is, at any time, even though something is not showing as open in the dock, right, with the little black dot, if we quit something and we don't force quit it, it has the ability to still be running in the background. So if the process is still running, it can show up as one of the items we can force quit. That's why I prefer to force quit applications instead of just quitting them or closing them. I always force quit. Force quit is the only way I close programs.
Yes, okay, you say force quit, but I've already, okay, we'll get to that point. So you can explain that one, but you said force quit is the way to go. But let me do this now. I'm restricted from this one has changed. Where is no? No is Apple support, is the one I'm restricted from stopping. But every other process, I haven't seen no before, but every other thing I am prevented from force quitting. I've tried it, believe me, I've tried. I'm restricted from all of them.
Right. Certain things you don't want to force quit because it causes the computer to be unstable.
But
those are processes that are needed.
Understood. But if you're saying, listen, if you want QuickTime to really stop running, and if you want Preview to really stop running, you have to force quit it. Okay, got it. But I am restricted from force quitting every single process on my computer.
Right, you don't want to. If you force quit everything, the computer would crash.
That's not what we're talking about. No, that's not what we're talking about. All we're talking about is Preview and QuickTime. My computer will not allow me to force quit Preview and QuickTime. It says here, I am restricted.
When you have the force quit applications open, it tells you that it won't close?
The minute I close, it does close, it does restrict, it closes, and it comes right back up.
All right, I'm not certain about that.
Okay, because I've already tested it. Let's move on. Now, pickups. And this happens for notification as well. It says 10 here, but it only shows 8. Where's the other 2?
5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know about this one.
Okay, and the same goes for notification. It'll give me a number, but it shows nothing here. But anyways, you did say you don't know about screen time, so let's move on. Yeah, I know. That's okay. Let's move on. Usage, you said you don't know. Here is the same usage again. They're never congruent, and believe me, there's no idling. This same thing here. Activity monitor, same thing. It doesn't move. I recorded for 1 hour, 1 hour of recording. And activity monitor, not in this screenshot, went up by 1 minute, and I had activity monitor in the back. Let me close that one. Let's see.
Okay.
Number 13. Oh, this is 9 minutes 32 seconds in the recording, and app usage will not disclose usage. Okay, Should I move on because you don't know about that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
This one here, in sharing, I have administrators with an S. Okay, I have
And that's expected.
Okay, so hang on a second. Let me make sure I got it clear. You're saying administrators with an S
Mhm.
is expected,
That's
and only these users is expected here? Because I'm thinking if I'm the only administrator, it should say administrator without an S.
right. So the coding on the Mac operating system is always going to include plural. So when you get the new computer, it's going to say the exact same thing.
All right, so this is expected behavior, normal.
Yes, that is completely normal.
Good. Do you know why battery is not charging? 42 minutes, battery is not charging? And this is what I'm doing. You can see here, screen capture is using 65.9% of CPU. You can see what's happening here.
I am not certain why it's showing battery is not charging.
Well, it hasn't been charging for 42 minutes. Okay, I move on. And I sent this one to you previously, and I said it's a big red flag because, and I've reviewed it on YouTube, and people buy their Mac and setting it up. I did not choose a network, but the Mac is already connecting.
Right. So it's not connecting to anything. It's saying basically it's trying to connect. Okay. But it can't connect until you choose a network. So it's going to be the same thing on every computer right out of the box. It's going to say connecting because it's attempting to. We're on the screen for select your Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi, the wireless card inside the computer is actually looking for a way to get on the internet. But it can't because we haven't selected anything for it to connect to yet. So by default, it's going to say connecting. So this is expected, and it's going to happen on all the computers.
All right. So when it's looking for a network, it will tell me
going to say
looking for a network.
Yes.
And
the wording and
hold on.
The wording
let me finish. Let me
Yeah.
finish. When it's looking for a network, it says it's looking for a network, right? And then when I choose a network and enter my password, then it says connecting, which is logical. That's what it does. That makes sense to me, right? It's looking for a network. It tells me it's looking for a network. I choose a network, and you can see I choose a network. Like I've chosen a network here. It tells me, you can see that I chose a network, or it used to have a tick mark beside it, right? But then when I did not choose a network, it's still saying connecting. And
that's going to be just by design. The wording, I mean, it's just going to be there. That's just how they, that's just how it's made.
I think you're wrong on that, but are you telling me that you are absolutely sure?
I'm very certain. It's just the default wording. I've seen the screen many, many, many times. It's always in setup. It's always, it pops up. We can't get past the screen, It always is going to come up, so I'm very, very familiar with the way it looks and what comes up.
That's okay. That's all right. We can disagree. I disagree with you, but we'll move on.
Okay.
And this one here, I sent you the screenshot. That's the IPv4, IPv6, and this one was not sent to you. And so I usually have to look to see what was sent, what was not sent, because half the time things are not sent. So you wouldn't know if you received that in the email or not, would you? That's all right. I'm gonna move on. You see my computer. I'm just looking at email here. It's running at 212 degrees. It's what temperature should it run on? Generally speaking, I know it's not going to be exact. If I'm just looking at email and just emailing, what temperature should my Mac be running at?
I'm not certain.
Right.
I can't answer.
All right, but I'm thinking 212 is a little bit hot, isn't it? A little bit more, a little bit
yeah.
A little bit on the hellish side, isn't it?
Yeah, for us, yes.
Thank you. So we have a problem then if it's running at 212 degrees, isn't it?
So when it comes to temperature and monitoring, we would want, if that is an issue, if we have an issue with the computer overheating, if you're feeling it getting warm, things like that, that's when we would need to troubleshoot that issue. The computer overheating, the processor working hard, we'd have to troubleshoot that. That's something that we would, look into service for if it was getting to be too hot to see what's going on to cause the processor to run at such a temperature. But we cannot use third-party applications to determine the heat. It's something we would have to get you in to one of our stores or an Apple authorized service provider or send it in for service so we can check it out.
All right. Is that something you want to do with this computer?
So is this a computer that's going back?
Yes.
Okay, so they would do all the checking once they get it.
Okay.
That's yeah.
All right. So this one here, anyways, I just popped up screen time is still showing 2 minutes of other. It started when I entered before I entered my screen code, that code you gave me, session code, right? And it's still at 2 minutes. Right? It started then. I think I told you. So it's still at 2 minutes. And let's continue. So when I connect to the internet, this is IP address I get. That's not my IP address. And then it quickly changed to my IP address. Tell me why it's doing that. That's a foreign IP address.
So that looks more like a MAC address. One moment.
That's not a MAC address.
I've connected. I'm not certain.
You don't know what it is?
No, that's something, when it comes to all of the IP addresses, MAC addresses, there are so many. Your router has an IP address. It's something you would have to go over with your service provider. They would have more insight because they have access to those numbers.
Right, because I was told by Apple Senior Advisor that I should only see, when I'm connecting to my network, I should see my home IP. This is a foreign IP. Anyway, it says, there it is, Wi-Fi is connected to, there's my address at home, Toronto, 85G, and has the IP address this. My Toronto 85G does not have that IP address.
I would check with my service provider so that they could walk you through it and see what it is.
Yeah, believe it or not, I had already called them. No, that has nothing to do with them. Because I've double checked everything. It doesn't? I thought I'd ask you guys. Yeah. Anyways, what is sharing D?
See, these are all processes. They're processes for the computer. What is sharing D? I'm not certain.
Okay, and this is something I had asked you about before. I just Wi-Fi connected, but it uses constantly Airport D, which is running at 45.1%, and then Wi-Fi. And they're all both active processes. But I think you had told me before, even if it says Wi-Fi here, it doesn't mean I'm network connected, right?
That is correct.
All right. Because I keep seeing Wi-Fi when I'm not network connected, but you're telling me it's expected behavior. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Anything dealing with processes, I don't touch processes unless I touch the applications. I don't end any process unless I'm 100% certain what it is.
All right, so this is, I took the computer out of the box on the 18th of February. I took it out of the box, right? And I went to applications, and these are the date modified, and date created, and I got June, July, August, all sorts of dates, right? 2020. At purchase, these are dates modified, and the date created were the same thing. I have it. I just take my word for it now. Anyways, the same thing. So here we have different months, right? So I'm going to put this to the side. You only see January the 1st there because when I opened the Mac, it said January the 1st, 2007, 1970. And so
Uh-huh.
this is the next, this is after I downloaded Big Sur, and now everything is exactly the same. Date modified, date created, all of them are exactly the same at the exact same time. Except for TG Pro, which is my app, which says 5 o'clock somewhere. Anyway, but look at that. Is that expected behavior when just a little while before, it was saying this June and
Well, you
August.
mentioned that you upgraded, you
Yes,
updated.
yes. Is that why?
So whenever, your operating system also updates your application. So your Mac applications are going to be upgraded with the operating system.
Thank you for that. But I updated it on February 19th. Why is the date created and date modified exactly
This is pertaining. This is pertaining directly to the application update. So they were updated at that time. This is all like within the software. So it doesn't mean that this is when the computer updated to it.
Mhm.
This is in the software. So
Thank-
that should be the reason for it to do that.
All right, but so when I updated to Big Sur on February the 19th, shouldn't date modified be because that's the date I uploaded Big Sur? Shouldn't the date here be February the
It
19th?
depends on the actual update for it. You see over there, it shows you the version number. So it depends on when that version was released. So software is not constantly updated, every day. It depends on when the manufacturer, in this case Apple, updates the application. So it depends on when the updates or the versions were available. Like the initial version of Big Sur, which was just 11.0, was introduced in November. So the original date modified and date created would be completely different. But now we're on 11.0.2, so it changes at all times.
Okay.
So when
let me
we
let me pause you here for a second so that I understand. Okay. Date created. What generates date created? What will tell you date created? What has to happen for date created? Is it? Let me finish. Is it the date I bought the Mac and I set up the Mac? Is it the date I installed Big Sur? Is it the date that the factory updated Big Sur? What creates date created? What is that? What generates that?
I'd say the version. You can get more information and system information.
So you don't know?
I don't know.
That's okay if you don't know. And date modified, same thing. Do you know or you don't know? Because we can move on.
For applications, your date modified should not change until it's updated.
All right. So date modified, what was generated is the date that did you say updated?
Yes.
So that
the application updated.
Oh, that the factory updated it.
Like the application itself.
Okay, so what you're saying is the factory updated all of these applications on January the 1st at 3 a.m.
I'm not certain.
Because
I don't want to speculate.
Right, thank you. Because when you guys tell me something, you tell me like it's factual. Right? But when you dig below the surface, it doesn't make sense. Okay, if you don't know, that is fine. Just tell me you don't know, and if you're speculating, just tell me you speculated, because I've already researched it. Okay, so here's another one. Battery lasts 12 hours at 2:16 a.m. That's the same day. That's when I took it out of the box from sending it to you guys. Battery lasts 12 hours. Fully green means fully charged. That's at 2 o'clock. Nearly 1 hour later, it's fully white. I think I talked to you about this one. Why? Why?
I can just give you what I speculate, but I can't answer for certain.
That's fine. Thank you for that. Why do you think? Do you want to speculate or should we move on?
Uh-huh. So first thing I noticed is that the charger is plugged in
Yes.
on the one that's showing it fully colored in, and the
Yes.
charger is not connected. So when the charger is connected, it's showing that constant power. It's getting power no matter what. AC power, and the battery is plugged in,
Look at it.
connected. When it's
Right now, battery is charged. It's plugged in. It's plugged in. The whole thing is not green.
I wouldn't know. I see where it's starting
Yeah, I
to
started
color
here.
in at the end. And
Exactly.
then it started going up in charge.
Exactly.
So what did it, is that when it was plugged in?
That's right. That's
Mhm.
when it was plugged in. That's today, because
so-
every day is different, right?
So the longer it stays plugged in or connected, it's going to continue to fill in with color. But that's just me speculating based off of just what I see.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you're speculating, that's fine. But here's the thing. If it's been fully charged here, why is it only 74% power here?
I'm not certain.
All right, we'll move on. And that is why I said all processes are restricted. I cannot, this is what I want, this is a screenshot I wanted to show you, that everything is restricted, but I showed you that in Activity Monitor anyway. This is 2 previews in QuickTimes, and you cannot explain it, and both of them are in use. 144.57 QuickTime, one and there, and same thing here. Both of them are in use. Should we move on, or you don't know?
I'm not certain.
All right, I sent you articles that talked about when a device is compromised, how do you find the malware. And in the article it says the malware is disguised as everyday apps. Okay, so I am running with that one. If it's disguised as everyday apps and I see things that should not happen, actually let me back up a bit. In screen time, should I have to preview and two, wait, where is it? Should I have, oh, there is still 2 minutes. Should I have 2 previews, 2 quick times, and 2 text edit? It's either yes or no.
Say that one more time. Repeat that for me.
In screen time,
Sorry.
these are all Apple apps except for one, TG Pro, right? In screen time, should I have duplicates of screen time, duplicates of preview, QuickTime, and text edit? Should I have that?
I am not certain. I cannot answer that one.
Common sense.
No.
I'm saying common sense says no. I should have one of each.
I'm just not familiar enough with the program. I know that, you don't want speculation, so.
That's true. No, you're correct. Don't say anything if you're going to speculate. And look, here's the other thing.
Right.
TG Pro is running. It's my temperature app, right? It's running. But it never shows as being used here. Never shows as being used. You don't want to speculate? Should we move on?
Yes.
Let's move on. I think screen time is a security feature, and it tells me who and what is using my computer and how much, how often. This tells me any problem that's in my computer, and I've already pointed out to you I have things that cannot be explained. 2 preview and 2 QuickTime and 2 text edit. Anyways, let's move on. And there okay, so I recorded 1 minute 15 seconds into the recording. QuickTime shows usage of here's Activity Monitor. It says 2 hours 57 minutes, right? Screen time?
Yes.
Screen time, not active. Yeah, in screen time, Activity Monitor says 2 hours. Remember 57 minutes, okay? So it's a 1 hour 2 minutes recording and 50 seconds. And then here's the same recording. There's at the end of the recording, and Activity Monitor was constantly at the back, and it only increased by 1 minute there. So for an entire hour and 2 minutes, I had Activity Monitor at the back, but it only increased here by 1 minute. and I have the recording if you want to see it.
I'm just not certain.
That's okay. We'll move on.
Yeah,
No,
the
that's
screen
all
time
right.
just.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll move on. That's okay. If you don't know, I like honesty. Battery not charging is a constant. Their Wi-Fi is amber, and it says the status of your wireless connection is unknown. And actually, forget about that part. Let's do this part. Here it says this is automatically ticked off and grayed out. See that? Good. And this is number 26. And then it changed. So February the 19th, I took it out of the box. We see January the 1, right? It was at the night between February 18, 19. So it said January the 1st. So it is ticked off and grayed out. And then not so long after, it becomes grayed out only, not ticked off. Why?
Let's see. All right, so the status is turned off, and what was it in the other screenshot?
It says status is unknown. And this was in amber. But still, this is grayed out.
All right, so no Wi-Fi has been selected. So under network name, nothing is selected. So the status is on, but it's not connected to anything. So it automatically join this network is grayed out because it's not an option for us. We don't have a network selected yet.
It's not an option.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
So anytime something is grayed out, it's not something we can adjust because it doesn't relate as of yet. So automatically join this network is grayed out because it doesn't pertain to the current settings.
Okay, you know what? Hold on, pause. Let's look at this one then. Let me not complicate it. Let's look at this one. I have three options here. This one is not grayed out. This one is not grayed out, but this one is grayed out. Why is the top one grayed out?
The top one is grayed out because there's no network selected. You can't automatically join a network if you're not connected to a network.
All right. So
it's
all right. So why not gray out these ones? You can have the same explanation. Listen, you did not choose hotspots, so we're graying it out.
So ask to join personal hotspots is completely different. That goes to deal with phones and, mobile hotspots. That is going to stay an option because you don't need Wi-Fi for that. You don't. One moment.
Okay, hold on. That's okay. Let's not complicate it. All I want you to say yes or no. You see, data is constantly moving, and you're saying all along this is expected behavior, right? The data is always moving, and you are also saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is expected behavior.
Yes.
Perfect.
For that to be grayed out is completely expected behavior, and that's not speculation.
That's okay. Thank you. And here I am downloading Big Sur, and it goes to a disk called Untitled. Is that normal? Is that the correct location?
So it depends on if you erased. When we're erasing a hard drive, it gives us an opportunity to name the hard drive, and it's untitled by default. If you erase it completely, we have to actually name it Macintosh HD. You can actually name it anything. You can name it your name, but it's just saying that it didn't get a name when it was erased. That's it.
All right. Thank you. All right, and then this is when it says 1970. It wouldn't even load any page. It says because system clock is set incorrectly, Safari can't verify your connection is private. And a lot of data is moving in and out of the computer at the time, but I couldn't load a web page. I couldn't do anything.
Right. Websites have protocols too. So
this was Apple.com.
They require, time is very important. QuickTime is completely important for websites and doing basically anything that revolves the internet.
That's okay.
It can cause instability.
Right.
So
Let me
it's
leave
just
that
saying
one.
set the correct date and time.
Got it. And there's other again, and you don't know what causes it. That's fine. And there's Wi-Fi again, but this time I'm on the internet. I have Wi-Fi and I see Wi-Fi here. This looks normal to me, but when I see Wi-Fi here without Wi-Fi here, that doesn't look normal. But you're telling me if I see Wi-Fi here, but I'm not connected to a network, that's okay. Right? Remember we went through that already.
Yes.
Okay. Preview. I have QuickTime, Safari, and Preview running. And Preview, you had said, listen, close down Preview and close down QuickTime. But it's not, it's running, it's using significant energy here. And I'm looking at the thing and I don't see Preview here in Activity Monitor. And it's not open here. But I see it running using significant energy and I'm looking for it and I can't find it.
Which tab is selected? Because it looks like you're on the network tab. QuickTime and Preview will not show on the network tab because they don't have a reason to use the internet. They would be under the memory or CPU tab.
Okay, maybe that explains things. So you're saying if I go to memory, I will see...
you should see it. Yep. Anything that shows up as, it should be under the CPU, the memory, if it's open.
All right. So
change it up there at the top. Just click on memory. All right. And so these are the things that are actively using memory. And then you can click on CPU to see what's actually using the processor as well.
Right. So do you see Preview here?
All right, click on CPU. It just means the application is not using memory.
No, hang on. You said if it's running, I'll see it in memory. Do you see Preview here?
I don't see it. So check CPU. Alrighty, let me take a look. Moving. Yep, it's under screen capture.
It's under here? Under screen capture?
Yep.
Preview is under screen capture.
Yep, it's working right now. So it's on and it's doing a screen capture.
So it's not separate from screen capture.
It's open. Say that again?
So it's not, okay. My thought is when there's other processes in screen capture, hold on. Here, energy. Oh, look at the amount of energy being used. It just went down. When there's secondary processes, disk, I will see a little thing, a little arrow like, and then I can click on the little arrow and it tells me all the secondary processes. But I don't see the little arrow that tells me all the secondary processes. And I go to each one. I go to disk, and I don't see Preview, and I go to energy, and I don't see Preview, and I don't see the little arrow that gives me the secondary processes. You know what I'm saying, right?
I don't know.
No, that's okay if you don't know. I'm just telling you from experience that usually I'll have a little arrow, and a little arrow would be here, and then I'll click on that little arrow, and then it'll give me the secondary processes. But I see no arrow, I see no secondary process, I see no Preview. Because here it's separated. Look, QuickTime is separated from Preview.
QuickTime is different from Preview.
Yeah, so why? So QuickTime is different from Preview. Are there any secondary processes when running QuickTime?
There are a lot of processes that are associated with applications, and I don't know what the name of them are because it's just so many.
No, that's okay. That's okay. My thought is, from speaking to senior advisors, is I would see the second, the little with the little arrow. I click on it and it'll show me XPT whatever. Like this here would be a secondary process, right? And it would
I'm
be.
not certain.
That's
Yeah, things change at all times with each upgrade. So.
Okay, so you cannot say that just
Correct.
click on preview and force quit preview, because really when you scratch the surface, there's more to it, right? There's no such thing.
Well, force quitting, when you force quit something, it ends all the processes associated with it.
Yes, and I've already documented it. Take my word for it for now, because I'm not going to go through all the stuff I've documented. But when I quit a process, it comes right back. Doesn't matter what process, preview, whatever, it comes right back. Okay, so anyways, there's preview, and it's running here as a separate process identity, right? I never see it, and I just showed you, I never see it in Activity Monitor. But you're telling me now the preview is part of QuickTime.
No, preview is not part of QuickTime.
It's separate from QuickTime.
It's separate.
All right, but so why don't I ever see it in Activity Monitor like I just showed you?
So it's a process that's running right now. So yes. I have no idea. I mean, I can take a look at the screen, and it would not concern me seeing it on the list if I was using an application that was using the features of QuickTime. So I wouldn't be alarmed by seeing it there. But I would be concerned with the amount of memory and CPU usage and energy that it was using based off of what I was doing.
Yeah, well, I'm concerned that I have two previews, and none of it, and no preview shows up in Activity Monitor, and I did exactly what you said in Monitor, in memory and CPU. You said it'll show up in the memory and CPU, and it doesn't.
But it's showing the QuickTime is showing up as screen capture.
Okay, where's preview?
I don't know what the preview process name is, so I don't know which one is that one.
Okay, because I see no preview here. And even in memory or CPU, there's no preview.
Yeah, I don't know what the process will be called, so I don't know.
Here's my common sense approach. If it's called preview here, it'll be called preview here. If it'll
not necessarily. The process is right.
Is it possible to find out? That's important, because here we go. Here's why I'm telling you. Because I have unexplained apps on my computer that you don't know where they're from. I don't know where they're from. I don't know what generated them. They're running on my on my computer constantly, and we don't know what they are. Should we not find out?
So this is where it gets complicated. This is information that is in place by the people who actually build the operating system. We are not going to be privy to all of the process names, and there's really no way for us to really find out. So the main concern here is that we have two previews and two QuickTimes that are showing up in screen time. Now, once we get once we get your new computer, if we're still seeing the same behavior, then I can send off for clarification for it.
Can you not send off for clarification now?
I mean, we have a new computer coming in. I mean, I can ask for clarification on the two previews, the two QuickTimes. I can submit that information.
So I'm going to ask you to submit that information, because you guys have continuously replaced my computers for the very same reasons. Okay, and hold on a minute. Not this one here. Give me a minute here. Let me see. Black phone. Anything there? Here, phone number, no. Darn it. There's two preview, two quick bubble terminated under 12 hours. This is this computer here, I think, February the 25th, Mac 20. Hang on. There's, damn it. There's one where sound was terminated. I am so sorry. I'm gonna send it to you when I find it by email, okay? I can't do it now.
Okay.
I can't do it now. I can't find it now. Anyways, let's go by what we're talking about. The preview. Can you send it up the ladder then?
Yes.
I am
So I'll
concerned
send that.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm going to send that as like a separate issue. Yeah.
Yes, please. Let them know I have 2 previews, 2 quick times, and 2 text edit in screen time. Actually, I'll bring up screen time right now. And the other is still at 2 minutes. And it started when I keyed in the session key. Always allowed. So here, it does not show usage of other apps. Right? TG Pro has been running. It doesn't show usage. I have 2 preview, 2 quick time, 2 text edit. Preview and quick time are constantly running on the computer, and preview never shows up in activity monitor. Not only that, app usage is 2 hours. They never are aligned. It's all in the screenshot.
Right.
You can find them in the screenshot. In the screenshots. Phone. And one of the other thing is I cannot undo phone. Phone is ticked off and grayed out. Your thoughts on that? Let me show you. There's notes. Tick, on tick. Ticked off and grayed out. I'm clicking on it right now. I cannot undo it. Why is that?
I'm not certain.
So that's one of the questions as well. And I think that goes with iMessages. Okay, the minute I see iMessage, I go to screen time, I look throughout, and this is already ticked off and grayed out.
Right.
Now, are we supposed to see Safari in Apps Allowed?
I'm not certain.
Well,
I'm not certain what all is supposed to show there.
Well, I'm seeing Finder. Finder is here, right? See Finder in Apps, right? But then I go here, and there's no Finder. And there is no Safari. Where's under S? There's no Safari, there's no system preference, there's no Spotlight.
I'm not certain.
Okay, so these are things that should be found out only because it'll tell it. I think, like I'm going to repeat myself, screen time really is a security feature. It tells me who's using what. And if this is not working properly, we have a problem. Because TG Pro is still at 0 seconds, no usage. Okay, phone is, I should have control of it. I cannot undo this thing. I can't undo it. Not only that one, but there's a couple of other things, but I'm going to focus here. There's so much going on. Yeah, this one here I showed you, 4 hours 48 minutes, and here 2 hours 9 minutes. There's QuickTime enforce quit, QuickTime not open here. Three minutes into, I opened the computer, 3 minutes. All that data has moved. You said it's moving in between. That's fine. And then I have category showing 10 seconds of usage only. It's not congruent. You understand, yes?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I'm going to guess you have no comments. Same thing there.
Right.
Battery here. It's the white and the green again. That's these two, white and the green. Screen time. Screen time. There's TG Pro always running. There's screen time running at 121%. Let's see. System preference is using significant energy. Activity monitor is using significant energy. And like I said, data is constantly moving. But we let it go because TG Pro, and I can show you that that it's running. Finder is running, but it's never in always allowed. I showed you that, yes?
Finder?
Finder is not in always allowed.
So Finder is not specifically an application. Finder is everything on the computer. Like, it's basically the closet.
And
So we're
that's
always
fine.
using Finder.
Here's why I'm mentioning Finder. Because I'm thinking if I'm seeing Finder here in screen time, I'm thinking it should be in always allowed, but it's not in always allowed.
It's part of, it is the main part of, it is one of the main parts of your operating system because that's how we find everything.
Good.
So.
Good. You know what? That's a problem. Finder is a main part of my operating system. It's in apps. Yes, got it. But in always allowed, it doesn't exist.
Because because it doesn't need to exist there. It doesn't have to live there. It's like the shelves in the closet.
That's okay. You don't know this though. You're speculating, right? To be fair.
No, Finder is, it's hard for me to explain it. But Finder is your ability to access everything on your computer. Whenever you access anything, we are using Finder. That's why we can't close it.
No.
Windows computers have Windows Explorer.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying close it. I'm saying it's an important, integral part of my computer. No Finder in always allowed. No Finder, no Safari, no system preference, and no, there was one other thing, no Spotlight. Yet I have two preview, two QuickTimes, two text edit, and phone is selected and grayed out. This is an preview shows up in Activity Monitor. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot. These are the important questions about QuickTime that I need figured out. Because if it's concerning to me, and you can see that it's very concerning to me, then I want it to be looked into, please. If there's an explanation, I'll be happy to listen to it. I want to know what the explanation is. If somebody can explain it to me. Yes?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go back to categories here, and this is just at 2 minutes here. This is still at 50, 14, and 2. Hold on. 5, 0, 1, 4, and 2. Let's see if it'll move. Okay, I'm going to close that one there. Battery not charging is a constant. We've talked about that. Battery not charging, and there's our friend previewing QuickTime. There's Activity Monitor running at 70%. Any idea why?
Why it's running at 70%?
Yes.
Now, Activity Monitor is memory heavy, it's processor heavy, and it's energy heavy because it is responsible for allowing us to access at all times the information it's showing us. So it is expected for it to use a lot when it is open because it has to get the information from everything you see there. So it has to check in, give us the reports on every single thing we're seeing in this entire activity monitor window. So it's expected for it to use a lot.
So it's expected to run around 70?
It can get higher. It depends on what is running, because you have to consider there are things on this list that are going to use more or less energy, CPU, and memory, and have access to the network when we're connected. And Activity Monitor has to report on that, so it's going to be working heavy.
All right.
When it's open.
So what's the average you think for Activity Monitor?
I can't give an average because it depends on what you have open, what's running, what processes are running, and what we're actually doing.
Activity monitor is running at 62, 44, 30, where is it
Right.
now? 20,
It
42,
fluctuates. It depends on what it's checking.
30, 22, 36, 25. Okay, so you can run up to 70. Okay, or higher. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so
just
it's,
depends on what it's checking.
thank you. So I'm going to go here and see what's using significant energy. It's activity monitor and QuickTime player, right? Now look here. Look at the screenshot. It says what's using significant energy is QuickTime and preview. But activity monitor is the one that's at 70. Why does it not show activity monitor here?
I'm not certain. It's probably not using enough to make an impact to the charge
But
at that level.
No, it's at 70. It's the highest one. It's nearly double this one, screen capture. It's at 70.
I'm not certain.
Oh.
It's I can't explain.
No, because I'm thinking Mac is usually makes sense. Mac devices usually make sense. Things are congruent. It's x plus y is over in this basket, and you will have x plus y in the other basket, and they'll match, right? But here, activity monitor is at 70, but QuickTime and preview is using significant energy, and like I said, never preview here. I have 2 view bridge auxiliary. Any thoughts on that?
Say that one more time.
I have 2 view bridge auxiliary. Your thoughts on that? Sometimes I have sometimes I have double processes running, so I want to know. I usually
right away I see that one is for CETA and one is for root. So the system is using one of the processes and your user profile is using the process. So right away that would tell me that it's a necessary process used by the operating system and your user profile.
Huh. So I am using ViewBridge. What does that do, ViewBridge auxiliary?
I don't know. There are literally millions of processes.
I don't know either. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. We'll move on. We'll stick to the important ones like screen time. Okay, there's Safari, and I'm saying Mac is always connected. I'm not straying from what I'm saying. There's Safari using significant energy, but Safari is not even open here. Why is that?
I'm not certain. If it's not, like I mentioned before, if it's still running in the background, you'd have to force quit it.
And like I said, when I force quit, it's still running. So here's the thing. My thought is common sense says, you see, it says Safari is using significant energy here, but it doesn't show up here.
Right, but you're still on the network tab. If Safari did not close completely, it's not accessing the network anymore, but it's still open in the background, meaning that there is a process open somewhere for it. So you would have to check all of the tabs to see where it is.
All of the tabs?
CPU, memory, energy.
To see it, but it's not showing up. I'm just telling you, it doesn't show up.
But you're looking only at the network tab.
Yes, but if I'm looking at network tab and I usually see Safari in network, for example, where's network? Go to network now, and I should see Safari somewhere there. No, I am using Safari. I'm not using Safari, I guess. But there's Safari. There's Safari, right? So I see Safari, right? Did you see it?
I did not see it.
Yeah, I saw it. It was there a minute ago. TG Pro. I just saw it. It was there a minute ago. Anyways, I have it on network because I usually see what's running, because I would see Safari there. Anyways, so here it is, and I have network, okay? And then I turned off network, and Safari is still running. There's QuickTime running here. Look here. There's QuickTime, and there's screen capture and QuickTime. Your thoughts?
On why Safari is not listed?
Well, 2 questions, I guess. I'm sorry, it's me. I'm at fault here. So, not why Safari is not listed. Two questions is, I turned off Wi-Fi, but Safari is still using significant energy. Question number one. Your thoughts on that one?
Because it's still open in the background, or the computer just hasn't caught up with it being force quit or quit if it's, turned off.
So the computer has not caught up. Got it. Okay. So here Safari is using, let's switch to QuickTime now. QuickTime is using significant energy. And a screen capture mix, it's at 23. Not, remember when activity monitor was at 70 and it didn't show up here. This is at...
Right. So CPU usage and battery usage is completely different though. So it's giving you based off of how much pull it's getting from power.
So I'm talking...
So at that point you would click on the energy tab.
Okay, so we're still on network. It's still network, so it's all congruent, right? Still on network. So whereas before activity monitor was running at 70%, right? I guess that was a different one, different tab. But still, I'm thinking CPU and energy impact usually is congruent, eh? Regardless of which I click on. Is that true or not?
It's true.
Thank you. So, so here I have, forget about Safari now. I know I see things running that should not be running, like QuickTime, like Safari, like everything else. Okay, so I have QuickTime here using significant energy, and QuickTime is here. It's congruent with QuickTime here. And then I have screen capture at the top. Why are they separated? You said one is one, they're the same.
They are the same.
Okay.
But when it comes to the way that the applications work, so the questions that, what I don't understand is there are going to be applications that fluctuate. At any given moment, they're going to require more CPU, more memory, and more, battery. Everything that we click on and open, it's going to take a drain on the battery because the processes for it are running. And it also depends on how much we're interacting with it and how much we're demanding from the application. So when it comes to battery usage and using significant energy, we have to look at what we're doing. Has the computer caught up with it? Is it completely closed? I don't even look at using significant energy because it just fluctuates. It's to be expected for something that I'm using actively to use more of the battery. CPU usage is going to fluctuate as well because it depends on what the computer is doing, as well as memory is going to fluctuate. Everything in this list is never going to be static. It's going to constantly fluctuate.
It's going to constantly fluctuate. Okay, I got that. I'm asking you why. Let's talk about congruency. QuickTime is here and QuickTime is here. I'm matching it up. There's screen capture here. It's separated. Why is it separated? Because, okay, so here's a question. Why is it separated? And why don't I see screen capture here as opposed to QuickTime? Because QuickTime is way down.
It's going to only show you the application names under the battery, and these are processors. So basically, it's in order to fully understand what's going on here, you'd have to be one of the people who do coding. There's so many processes.
All right.
We don't even like to look at processes. We don't like to mess with processes because the names for them, we don't have a list of them. There are literally millions, billions of processes.
So should we say you don't know? You don't know?
I don't know. And
okay, that's fine.
It's like, yeah.
That's okay. That's all I need. All right, and there's I get other 2 minutes. This is when I was chatting with you, and it said 2 minutes. And this is me. That's the last time I chatted with you, and this is me chatting with you again today, and it's stuck at 2 minutes again. It started out at 56 seconds. It's stuck at 2 minutes again. Okay.
Okay.
And you don't know why.
Right. So I'm going to ask for clarification on the screen time, but as far as like the processes, I just can't give answers to that.
That's
All I
okay.
can recommend when it comes to processes is if it is one that you are 100% certain that it is something, you can end it. But if it's something that you don't know or not familiar with, we don't touch it because it's going to be something that is needed for the stability of the computer.
And that I understand.
Um,
That makes sense. I'm telling you, my computer says every single process is restricted. Every single one. So it's black and white. There's no arguing about it. It's black and white. Now look at the screenshot. It's 1:05. This is at 3:10 p.m. 3:10. Finder is at 8 seconds. Got it? 3:10. Finder is at 8 seconds. 3:21. Finder is at 8 seconds. 3:29. Finder is at 8 seconds. And it's an integral part of the computer. And it's not working. Nearly 4 o'clock. Finder is at 8 seconds.
So there is an activity monitor user guide that should be on your computer.
Okay, what okay, and you okay?
Let's see if we can find
Okay,
it.
hold on. Hold on. Before I go and read up on that, I am thinking let's talk common sense. Just like I am thinking. Common sense says I should not have 2 QuickTime, 2 preview, and 2 text edit. That's
Right.
common sense to me. Right? Is it?
That's the part that I'm going to check on for you. But when it comes to like the processes and activity monitor, nothing there shows me anything is compromised in our, I don't see anything that's out of the way.
Okay,
in
hold.
regards to the
Pause.
activity monitor.
So, what do you need to see that will tell you something is, as you said, out of the way or not as it should be?
So we check for profiles on the computer when we look for things to check to see if someone is compromised. But it's going to be up to our engineering team to really take a look. And with them finding no evidence, I have no choice but to side with them. So they are the ones that get paid to write this stuff, to code. They're the ones who create the operating system, the update. They make it. So if they didn't find any evidence of compromise, then that's the stance on it as far as that goes. So when I look at activity monitor, I don't personally see anything that is out of the way, that I see. And then with their conclusion as well.
Okay, do you see anything out of the way with, I just showed you, do you see anything out of the way with screen time?
So when it comes to the screen time, like I said, I am not familiar with it. So that is why I said I will specifically ask the question regarding what you showed me in screen time.
Thank you. And just for common sense sake, because you're saying everything else is fine, because no one has explained to me why Finder, like I just showed you, Finder is stuck at 8%, 8 seconds here, and I'm still using the computer. Okay, and an hour later it just says 8 seconds. Right? So let's stick with screen time, because I am thinking that's a problem. Why? Okay. If I'm thinking that's a problem, and it obviously is a problem, there's no if, ands, or buts about it. It's a problem. You can see it. Do you agree? With screen time. Only with screen time. Let's only focus with screen time.
Well, I can't say that it's a problem because I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with it. There are lots of things that go on in operating systems that can be easily explained.
Okay.
And there are certain things that, cannot. But without me knowing entirely how screen time works, it would be speculation for me to say that there is indeed a problem with it.
All right. So I tell you what, when you go to, when you move this up the ladder, who are you going to send it to? Engineering or security?
I'm going to reach out to our engineering team.
Thank you. And I'll send these Finder screenshot, because it's not only Finder, it's TG Pro is running, and you see it running and it never shows up. So it's not.
So I'm just going to ask them for clarification on it. Like I said, I don't know how it works. I am the technical side, hardware, software, make sure things are working as they should. But I don't create these things, and some of the features I don't even personally use, so I'm not familiar with them.
And that's not what I'm asking about. All I'm asking about is for clarity's sake. Why do I have two text edit, two previews, two quick times? Why is phone ticked off and grayed out, which I cannot undo?
Got it.
Why is my app not showing any usage, TG Pro? Why do I see Finder in app usage but never in always allowed? Because it's not congruent, you see.
Got it.
All right. And so let me leave that then. Those are the 50 screenshots. And
Got it.
And when I run, I'm gonna let you go. But here's I run diagnostics, and I asked you where the data is going, and here's where the data is going. It's going to remote D. 33 KB and 29 KB going to remote D. Want to speculate on that?
Device manager. You have features on your Mac that allows you to control it remotely. You have device management. It's a lot of tools that are on your computer.
All right.
That can be.
Okay. So
but it's a process, so
okay.
I don't.
So hold on a second. I am running system diagnostic, and this is one of the questions I ask. Why is so much data moving in and out of my computer? And are you saying, because originally you said it was going, maybe I synced with my phone, right? But I didn't sync with my phone, so then I decided to check, see where the data is moving to, and it's moving to these things. So would you now say that it's moving to processes inside the computer? They're sending and receiving processes inside the computer while it's running.
Not saying it's sending anything. It's not. That's not how processes work.
Okay.
Processes are basically instruction sheets that tells the computer how to do something, how to access something. So, I mean, I can't, like, activity monitor, I just can't even touch anymore because it's just too far. I know some of the things, but I don't know all of them. So I can't say what they are.
All right. So let me, because this conversation is for me to understand, right? So where it says, this should be aligned, right? Where it says packets in, packets out should be aligned with what activity monitor is saying, yes? Or is there a stall? Would it stall?
I don't, to be honest, Tita, I don't deal with the network.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
So
no, hold on.
I don't, yeah.
Let me make sure I understand though. If you don't know, just say you don't know, we'll move on. Let's go to the remote D. It's not just bytes, but KBs are moving to and from. It's sent by remote D and it's received by remote D. And the packets are moving into the computer and out of the computer. Right?
I mean, I can read what it says, but I can't explain it to you at all. I never touched the network tab. This is a tab that's used for network professionals to read into. We have issues. Even if we have network issues on our side, we don't come here. This is all things that are accessed by the professional, so I don't know.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Is it possible for you, once you're sending everything up, just send a screenshot. I'll send it to you via email and ask about that.
Okay.
All right, because I have no Wi-Fi. I just want to know, because it's a question I've been asking forever. How come packets are moving in and out of my computer when I'm not, where is it going? Yes, that's it. You know what? We'll leave it at that. Let that be the end of it. Because you can see my computer. There's so much that are not aligned that it's just too much. So let me
Got
not
it.
complicate it anymore. You already have. So let me write it down here. Tell me exactly what you're gonna send to. What you're gonna ask.
So I am going to ask about your concerns with the screen time. So I'll word it in a way that they understand what I'm asking. I'm going to go ahead and end the screen share. One moment. Alrighty.
Okay.
And I'll get that done, and I'll set a reminder for myself to reach out to you on Monday when I get in the office.
All right. So let me summarize. Okay. You're gonna ask them about that remote D in when I run diagnostic, right? You're gonna ask them about why I have two finders. No, why I have two previews, two quick times, and two text edit in screen time.
Correct.
And why usage is not always aligned. It tells me I'm using it for 20 hours, but then when you check the numbers, it just says like 2 hours, right?
Correct.
Pickup says 10 pickups, but it only shows 8, right?
Correct. I'll check on that.
Right, and phone is ticked off and grayed out.
Got it.
The last one is that it's not congruent in that what I showed you. Finder shows 8 seconds for 1 whole hour. It does not change. What it shows usage in app usage is not the same usage in always allowed. It's different. And it's not real. It's not, I'm using the computer, let's say I'm using Activity Monitor, which I recorded my screen for an entire hour. And in screen time it only Activity Monitor only changed by 1 minute, but I just used it and recorded for 1 entire hour. Okay, so it's all about screen time plus the one screenshot from remote D, right?
Yes, correct.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the hard work on getting the new computer. When should I hear back from you?
Monday when I get into the office.
All right, fantastic. Thank you again. And will you call
welcome.
me on Monday at 3 o'clock just to touch base?
Okay, got it.
Call me Monday
All
at
right,
3
I'll
o'clock.
talk to you then.
Lovely. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.